create that why wall. Create a sheet, divide it into 12 vertical strips. Make it a 12-month plan. Design 7 meaningful touch points. Meaningful, it's not the quantity, it's the quality. And I don't care what level you're in, if you're a small business, if you're a mid-size, or if you're a large corporation that needs to come back to the power of why. You knew what you wanted others to feel about you and your brand. Now it's time to create touch points that reach out and touch people, not turn them off, touch them meaningfully. So, inspiring, it's all about others. Your inspiring touch points are all focused on others, not you. Say it, it's not about me, it's about them. It's always going to be about them when it's an inspiring touch point. Articles, write some inspiring articles that are designed not to sell your stuff. You don't want to push, you want to pull, you want to inspire and get others inspired by your words. Write articles monthly, submit them to as many media outlets as possible, especially ones in your business. Tips. I love doing tips. Weekly tips. I've been doing weekly tips for the last 5 years, and I've actually published them into a book now called The 50 Most Inspired Tips. But that was only a result of wanting to create a meaningful outcome, create my why wall, which was a focus on inspiring others. Tips became that way of being for me. So a tip is focused, again, not on pushing or selling any kind of product. It's focused on simply inspiring others with your wisdom, with some juicy nuggets. If you're a health and energy coach, focus on lifting others up, lifting their energy up with a very inspiring tip. So you want to focus those tips on the area that you are a guru or an expert at. Magazines. I love magazines when they're focused on inspiring others, not when they're full of ads. If you get asked to put an ad into a magazine, my recommendation is run the other way. Because a magazine that is purely filled with junk and ads is not inspiring. It's not your inspiring category. A magazine, however, that is focused on inspiring others, and there's several out there that purely want to drive inspirational messages, helpful tips, helpful hints. If you're in a recent magazine, use it as a platform. Engage others. Share with others why you're so excited about that magazine, why you're in it, what led you to it, what the content is, the others that are around you in the magazine. Think of it as a rocket that's blasting off into space. 3 stages to a rocket. There's the massive base, the ignition, the big rockets that get it out of the atmosphere, which is the hardest part of those 3 phases. That initial launch, that launching out of there, it needs so much inertia, right? Then there's that second phase where it sort of breaks off its big rockets, all that crap that's holding it back, and it just starts to now release those what I call things that no longer serve you. And then there's that final stage, which is just the momentum. It's the momentum. The rocket then uses the energy and the momentum of its last 2 stages to just purely drift with very little fuel. It needs very little fuel to then continue on its journey. And it's your passion and it's your purpose. It takes time. It takes time to uncover it, but when you start to become aware, it's freaking exciting because everybody around you, your sales team, the organization, all starts to really live from a deeper center. They want to get to work earlier because they're super pumped that their idea, which they've been wanting to share for the last 6 months, is finally going to get shared on a why wall. Connecting. This is the second area for creating touch points, is the heart. So many of us focus just on the mind. Okay, we connect with strategies, we develop strategies, we shoot off certain ad campaigns that are only focused on features and benefits. Woo! Not exciting. It is not designed to connect with the heart. When you start to lift from that center and connect from that center, you're now going to win customers and clients for a lifetime because they know that you're doing whatever it takes to connect with their heart. One of my favorite strategies, and I even just got one today and I always promote it, it is the handwritten greeting card. It's a handwritten greeting card that you've taken the time to either create yourself, which I love. I personally have taken 10 of my top inspiring quotes and put them into a greeting card. So when people get them, they frame them there, and it's also a reflection of me. Inside the greeting card, it's blank, and it's a handwritten message that just thanks someone for being so outstanding. That is designed to connect with the heart. Thank others. Find a way to thank others on a daily basis if you can. At least 3 to 5 days a week, you want to thank customers, you want to thank employees, you want to thank your leadership team, you want to thank your husband, your wife, your dog, and your cat for not peeing on the rug. Thank everyone around you. It will drive more greatness your way. So direct mail is a great strategy that we've gotten away from because of technology. We think a few Facebook posts is enough to drive our meaningful why. It's not. Social media is fantastic, but you want to come back to a very meaningful touch point, which is called the post office. Mail. Take the time to get a handwritten card, send it out. Maybe you've been published in a magazine, photocopy that article, or maybe order some of those magazines, include it with your package, and really show people why you're super excited. There's nothing better than getting a special gift in the mail. Gotten away from the newsletter. A newsletter is still a very great way to share with people what you're doing, what you're up to, some of the tools that you've been creating, because we rely a lot on these daily doses, these daily fixes of Facebook and social media for daily hits. But it's it's so daily. We don't actually kind of go back and, what was this person up to about a month ago or 3 weeks ago? So the newsletter is still a great way, quarterly, monthly, to kind of capture some really great stuff that you're up to. So whatever it is that you're going to focus on, commit to it. It also drives discipline, and it shows discipline in the marketplace. This is a very unique time for you because a lot of people do not get this concept of persistence and discipline. And if you wrap it up with creativity and you stay focused to your why and it's alignment with your why, then you're really going to make a lot of inroads. So you've designed touch points that are inspiring, you've designed touch points that are connecting, and now it's time to engage. Engagement is probably the most challenging, but if you stay the course and you focus on really winning the hearts of your customer. I know as a speaker, when I'm inspiring audiences, I don't like to talk to an audience. I'll even say at the beginning of my talk that I will not talk to you. And they always look at me funny thinking, well, he's a speaker. Why is he not going to talk to us? I'm going to have a conversation with my audience. And they really like that because it's very meaningful. I always try to rivet, engage my audience by having a conversation. I'll highlight individuals that have made a specific comment. I'll kind of share that energy, I'll shift it around. It just becomes one inspiring, big, happy, fun party. So anytime if you ever see me in an audience, no matter the size, 20 or 1,000, it's always going to be around engagement. So I like events. I like events, especially in a world where we're becoming so social media driven that we forget that we're humans, and we forget that we have this ability to connect, and we need to connect. And connecting through certain virtual models is great, but not if it totally replaces the one-on-one connection. So I like doing events that are intimate, and I also like events that are sort of larger. And there's a reason for both. If I'm doing an intimate event, and I'll do more intimate events. And this was one of my meaningful touch points that I had created when I created my why wall. So when I'm doing a real, let's say it's a think tank, I really want to make that night all about the 10 to 20 individuals that are coming. They'll have very specific questions. They'll be greeted really, really well. Everything that we try to do will always be focused on making that experience engaging. Use a lot of really great social media tools on a regular, consistent basis to get your message across. I still like videos like this. I like to get a message across that's not just a quick little Facebook hit. I'll use Facebook for different reasons. I like to use Facebook for many of these areas around inspiring and connecting, which is what I typically like to use social media for. My favorite social media tools are definitely LinkedIn for business. And I like to really focus on deeper, richer, more content-driven around organizations. I love to use Facebook for connecting and inspiring and shining a light on others. Shine a light on everyday people that are up to extraordinary things. I love to use Twitter for a combination of the two and to just give a little quick sort of status update on something very, very inspiring. And finally, YouTube. I love this video. As you know, you're watching it is on YouTube, and creating a channel around educational training, education, and inspiring content. Big questions. So if you're using big questions, our events, anytime I launch an event, if it's in collaboration with others, there will always be big questions. I even wrote a book on it. It's called Think, but it was a result of these why walls and these meaningful touch points. I love big questions because they access a different part of your cerebellum. There's a different part of your mind that wants to answer questions. When it's presented with garbage and crap throughout the day, you start to get very desensitized to the areas that really will move you forward. You're not focused on the areas and the awareness and becoming aware of greater potential for your life. Big questions, very good questions like, why do I exist? What is my passion? Where do I need to allocate energy? What's going to make this the biggest and the best year? What do I really want to create this year? Bigger questions are designed to really cut through the crap in your life. The crap, the stuff that just is trying to constantly occupy and fill up your mind. You want to remove that with big, meaningful questions on a consistent basis. So design 12 questions around your why, around your outcome for others, the outcome. One of my biggest outcomes is to creatively inspire people to take action on their lives. So I will design questions around how can you take action? Where do you need to allocate energy? What do you need to remove in your life that no longer serves you? What do you need to release? Because I'll think of questions that are designed to connect to the why, connect to that outcome. They're almost the opposite of the outcome, right? So think of some big questions and propose them, present them, create a game around them, create a contest around them. Do whatever you can because it's focused on engagement and it's got to be fun. Create your why wall, reconnect with that deeper why no matter what stage you're at. Passion, purpose, outcome. Use it with your team, use it with your sales team, use it with your receptionist. Find out what drives them. Why are they passionate to be here? What is their purpose within the organization? What do they want for others? What do they want for themselves? Focus on those touch points. 7. You need 7 touch points that are inspiring, that are connecting, and that are engaging.